welcome to your Pilates session. I want to move and move a little bit bigger to really leave you feeling lovely and mobile by the end. We are going to use the band, we're going to stretch, but at the same time, we also need to be aware of stability and of course our alignment. So first of all, we need to set ourselves up. Just be a bit taller, be aware of our neutral position. So your feet are hip distance apart and parallel. And I'd like you to spread your toes as much as you can. Just be aware of your footprint, the arches in your feet, that slight lift on the insides of the feet, and your knees just a little bit bent, soft as I call it. So we don't want to lock out the knees, that's not great for the knees. Be nice and soft in the knees, and then just lift up with the top of your head and roll your shoulders a few times. So we just get this lovely big movement here, and then as you do one more, you just allow your arms to hang down by your side, feeling really quite broad across the front and back of the shoulders. And I say it like that because often people go broad across the front and then push the ribs forwards. We don't want that, we want the ribs to be aligned with the pelvis. So we tuck the tail under, ribs aligned here, and broad, really broad. Thinking about your neck, remember we don't want to stick the head on at the front, we lengthen through the back of the neck, tuck your chin in just a little bit. And as you stand here, you're tall but not stiff, just relax the arms, relax the shoulders. And I'd like you just for a moment to focus on your breathing. And if we can, breathe in through your nose, and you can breathe out through your mouth. But I just want you to take some gentle but deeper breaths. And then as you breathe out, just relax your shoulders, feel a little bit longer in your neck. And as you continue to take those deeper breaths, notice where you breathe into. Clearly your lungs, but is it the bottom of the lungs as you try and expand your ribs with that breath in? And the breath out, you feel your ribs come down and in. Feel your shoulders fall a little bit further away from your ears. And then again, just a few of those deeper breaths. And as you breathe out, just be conscious of your alignment, but be conscious of not holding everything stiff. Relax the shoulders, feel the ribs come down. And then also, as we start to think about the stabilizing muscles, as you breathe out, become aware of the pelvic floor muscle and that drawing in feeling around your waist. Just creating that slight corset of support. And then we're going to get moving. So I want to use movement to take deeper breaths. So when you're ready, you're simply going to breathe in as your arms go widen up. And then breathe out as they go widen down. And then again, breathe in. And breathe out. Fabulous. Nice breath in. And breathe out. That's it. Let's do 3 more of those. Nice deep breath. As you breathe out, relax the shoulders, go wide. 2 more. And remember, as you breathe out, your shoulders come down and away from your ears. That's it. And now as you stand here, I just want you to rotate your arms. So you could even breathe out as your arms go around and back, thumbs go around and back, breathe in. Breathe out. And it's just about moving the shoulders, just lengthening across the collarbones. I don't mind if you want to bring the shoulders in more, and then out more. And then in more, and out. Just to get that lovely, as I said, rotation here. Waking up those rotator cuff muscles. Let's just do 2 more. Round and in, round and back. And 1 more. And then relax here, let your arms hang and just let them swing as you start to rotate your spine. You just lift one heel, let the arms swing, look round behind you. You don't have to be too keen with this, but the momentum of the movement just might encourage a bit more rotation. That's it. And I would like you please to do 4 more. Last 3. 2 more, and 1 more, and relax. Excellent. And then from here, I'd just like you to be conscious of your feet, and then just flex the toes. So send your knee forwards, and then the other one, just trying to get a little bit of movement, particularly in the big toe joint, but all of your toes really, as we move them here carefully, and do just 4 more, last 3, and then allow yourself to settle, and let's just find our balance. So we raise one knee, put the foot down, raise the other knee. So we are literally marching on the spot, being confident as you stand on one leg that you are supported around the ankle, around the knee, around the hip here, as we literally swap. Excellent. You got it. Changing, obviously alternating legs. And I'd like you please to do 4 more. Lift and lower. Waking up the stabilizing muscles. And then once you've finished the 4th one, allow your feet to settle. Feet hip distance apart and parallel. When you're ready, sit yourself down, breathe in. As you breathe out, stand up, lift up through the top of your head. As you do this, I really want you to be aware of your spine. I talk a lot about the direction of your knees, the stability in the ankles, but I want you to think about that lovely long neutral spine and your shoulder blades down the back. Yes, your hands go forwards, but it doesn't mean the shoulders need to lift. The shoulder blades stay down the back. You activate those stabilizing muscles a bit, not a lot, to do that as your arms just drift forwards to aid your balance. We're conscious of that belt around the waist, lifting up through the top of your head. As I say, the knees go forwards where your toes point. Your spine is lovely and long. Sit yourself down, stand up. Let's do 4 more. Last 3. Lift up 2 more. And last one. And then we're going to do another one of those. And we're going to roll back up. So this is where we do relax, but be careful. Maybe you haven't moved much yet, so you might just need to keep your knees a bit more bent as you roll up. Just trying to realign the spine, feel tall and broad. Relaxing over, lift up, drawing your tummy in as you come back up. That is really important. 2 more, please. As we just try and stretch those long erector spinae muscles and make yourself a little bit taller as we go rest there. Okay, so maybe we're a little bit warmer, a little bit, and a little bit more mobile. If you want to, you could take your block now. You don't have to. Let's just continue with a little bit of stability, not too much. And the reason I want to do that is I want to stretch muscles. And muscles are much more receptive to a stretch when they're nice and warm. So as we place our weight through one foot, on or off the block, it doesn't matter. We engage the core. You can use a wall. Absolutely you can use a wall with the end of your finger. And then we're just going to open through the hip here and wake up the stabilizing muscles. So you lift the other knee, and then we take that foot down and back behind. Now you can add the arms. That might work for you as you bring the knee up in front, take the foot down and back. Now as you do this, you remember that balance is much easier or better when you focus your eyes on a point in front. When you engage your core, soften the knee that you're standing on and be nice and aware of the arch in the foot. I reckon we've done about 8. Let's do 12. Lovely and tall, as I say, adding in the arms if you wish. So a couple more. And then last one. Excellent. So waking up the stabilizing muscles on your standing leg, moving through the hip and just lengthening across the front. Let's now add slightly different movement. We're going to stay on the same leg. Okay, as we stabilize here, spread your weight through the foot, the arch in the foot. This time we're going to lift the knee and we're going to go out and slightly out to the side and behind you. So we lift the knee as if you're skating. Lift up. Take the foot down and out. Same side as the other exercise here. Slightly different movement, out to the side behind you. So you're activating these muscles at the side of the hip here. Glute medialis and minimus, essential for stability of the pelvis. And of course, we're working on those stabilizing muscles on your standing leg. You might have done 7 or 8. Let's do 12. Be tall. Notice I'm bending my knee a bit more as the leg goes out. You don't have to. Makes you wobble. Lift up with or without the arms, it doesn't matter. And of course, you can hold the wall. And once you've done your 12, notice that these are definitely awake now, and we are going to change sides. If your block has a big footprint in it, roll it over. Otherwise, just swap feet. If you wish to, if you've got a wall this side, it's great because then you're not going to bash it if it's on this side. But ultimately, just be aligned. And the first one we did was knee up, foot down and back. And maybe you're not quite so stable on this side, or it might just be me, where I have to concentrate on not letting this foot roll in, because then the knee rolls in, and that's really not great here, not great at the knee, not great at the ankle. So it's about being aware of your stability as we focus the eyes in front, draw the tummy in. And when I say focus the eyes in front, I mean in front, okay, rather than at the floor. We still need to remember our alignment, the alignment of your neck. If you're looking at the floor, not great for the vertebra of the neck. Don't forget that belt of support. And then once you've done your 12, you can rest. Excellent. Okay, all we did is add movement out to the side, but still slightly behind you, still opening the hip and activating these glute medial min muscles at the side. So when you're ready, we raise the knee, the foot goes down, back and out to the side. Raise the knee, so imagine you're pushing yourself away, skating. If we ever want to ice skate ever again. Drawing the tummy in, focusing your eyes and keeping that standing leg bent. You might want to bend it a bit more. That's it. Lift up through the top of the head, down and out, and again. Good. Shoulders away from your ears, your neck lovely and long. Fabulous. And you're doing 12, and once you've done your 12, rest. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, and then we move that out of the way, and we come back to the middle. Maybe we're aware of, for me, I'm aware of these. You might be aware of these muscles down the side of the leg, your perineal muscles. But what I'd like you to be aware of is parallel feet, hip distance apart, lovely and tall, and when you're ready, just lift your heels off the floor and pop them back down. Just a bit, just lifting the heels, maybe even so I could just slip a bit of paper under your heels, or maybe you're coming a bit further up. And then we need to be conscious of the lowering. So we lift up and control the lowering. And initially just waking up these muscles, activating these muscles, and lowering down. Brilliant. And we'll do a couple more, and then we're going to add the arms. Now, as you know, balance is definitely helped by a focus of your eyes in front, eye level, not floor level, and engaging your core. So when you're ready, tall and broad, focus your eyes, breathe in. As you breathe out, drift your arms up and lift up onto your toes. Your hands can go out and your heels go down. Now, if you're like me, I hadn't been all the way up initially, so my feet were like, really? What are you doing? As we focus on all of the things that aid our balance here. The eyes, the core, the alignment of our feet, pushing quite firmly through your big toes, And I would like you, please, to do 4 more. Go wide with your hands. And again, drift up. Excellent. Last 2. And 1 more. And relax. Excellent. Oh. Okay, let's leave our heels on the floor. Let's go back to that big arm movement here. So when you're ready, take the arms all the way up and lovely and wide. Good. So maybe you feel quite mobile here through the shoulders. So we're just going to do a few more. Remembering, as your hands come round and down, palms forwards, lengthen across the collarbones. Heels on the floor, a little bit easier, definitely. But as your arms go up, we also think about keeping the ribs down. So we work on this flexibility here rather than cheating and going there. So keep the ribs down, arms back, lovely and wide. And then just a couple more. Excellent. And 1 more. And then, as your arms come down by your side here, and you've just spent 30 seconds opening the shoulders, we may as well do the dart. Big roll of the shoulders. They go up, back, down, lengthen the collarbones, reach towards the floor, knees a bit soft. Try not to stick your bottom out. Keep your tail tucked under and do that lovely little bit of spine extension there. Reaching down, lift the chest. And then again. Brilliant. 3 more. Last 2. And 1 more. Now, having just activated glutes to encourage opening through the front of the hip, we're going to move to try and stretch those areas. So, I've got my feet hip distance apart. We're going to take 1 foot back. A nice big-ish step, not too far though. We're going to flow the movement. We're going to lift the heel and push the heel into the floor and add arms. We want to tuck the pelvis under. The feet, this is your time to check your feet are facing the same direction, parallel. It's very often people do their little hip turn here. Turn the heel back, ooh, stand lovely and tall. And when you're ready, from here, I'd like you to take a lovely breath in as you lift the heel and the arms. As your arms go down, wide and back, plant your heel. And then again, big breath in and plant the heel. Taking your arms out lovely and wide into that lovely big dart position here. Maybe look up, lengthen the collarbones, tuck the tail under. Let's do 8 all together. So you might have already done 4. And then again, lift up 5, heel down, push the heel into the floor, tuck the pelvis under, as I said, and maybe your eyes glance up as your arms come down. I'm going to do 2 more because we can. And 1 more. Perfect, that lovely stretch here. Nice sort of flowing movement and trying to get a little bit of length in your biggest calf muscle because we've got a straight leg. Let's do the other side. So step in, step back. This is your time to check that both feet are facing forwards. Okay, please don't turn that back heel in. You're not going to get a calf stretch at all, and you're really not going to get a hip flexor stretch either. So we must make sure both feet are parallel facing forward, tuck the pelvis under. When you're ready, a nice flowing lift up, breathe in, breathe out. Let's continue with that outward motion with the arms on the way down. And we just want to encourage that stretch. As I say, that stretch across the front of the hip, the stretch in your calf muscles and across the chest and shoulders. Areas that maybe get a bit short rather than tight. There's a difference. Tight carrying tension, short, just not at the length they should be, but not really carrying any tension. Grief. Giving you grief. No. Let's do 8 or 9. Maybe you did quite a few more of these as I talked to you about planting the heel and tucking the pelvis under. Really feel that stretch through the front there. I think I'm going to do one more. And then hopefully you feel a little bit more mobile in all of those areas, which is the plan. Brilliant. Okay, let's take our feet a little bit wider now. Let's just move through the hips. Yes, of course, we're going to challenge our strength and stability and be aware of our alignment. Take a seat and then stand up. As we sit down, we drift the arms forwards and then we push up. And when we do this, as I said at the beginning, your arms go forwards to aid your balance. Doesn't mean you have to bring your shoulders up here. Your hands can go to chest height, should be able to go to chest height, without your shoulder blades moving. So, bear that in mind as you keep your neck nice and long. Go down as far as your flexibility allows. And I am very mindful that many people have had so much fun, they've worn out their knees and their hips. So just go down as far as you can, evenly placing weight through both feet. Consider if actually your limit of range of movement is just because you're a bit stiff. And try and do just 2 more, because we've got to add to this one. I'm going to do 1 more. And then rest there. So we're going to consider the same movement with the arms, but we're going to add to that. And again, keep it a little bit flowing, and if you don't want to squat as deep, you don't have to. The addition is that you're going to squat down, hands come to your side, and then simply reach up. And then we're going to squat down. Stand up with the other arm, reach up towards the ceiling. Now I say reach to the ceiling with one arm, but notice it's reach. So I'm trying to get this lovely lateral flexion in the spine, lengthening down the side of the spine, but not causing too much stress in those muscles by hanging over the side. So just reaching up. Also nice big range of movement at the shoulders as you reach to the ceiling, but of course as your arm comes down, your shoulder comes away from your ear. 4 more, please. Nice and wide. With the return of your arm, lovely and wide. And again, 2 more in my world. Taking a seat, lift up, last one. Excellent, and rest. Bringing yourself back in. Okay, and from here, let's just do this. Notice how it feels in comparison to the gentle one you did at the beginning as we warmed up. Your arms are simply swinging and you're nice and tall. Please keep your eyes on one level. That's my focus this week, trying to stop people to do this with their head. So it's all about lifting your eyes. Look ahead, not down. 2 more, and 1 more, and rest. Right, this one requires coordination and movement, a bit more movement. So we're going to be here with our feet maybe a bit wider to give us a bit more balance. And what I want to try and do is encourage diagonal lengthening. So in a minute, you're going to step 1 foot forward. So I can talk right and left if you like, so we can step our right foot forward and our left arm is going to reach over to the corner here. So we get that diagonal stretch down the back of the body. And then we're going to step that right foot back and take the arm behind you. So now you get the diagonal stretch across the front. Please be careful when you take the foot back and the arm behind you that you don't collapse at the lower back. Keep that corset a bit lengthen here. So, right, left, feet wide-ish, okay? Right leg is the mover. Put your right hand on your hip. Left hand, okay? Take it here, out at the side, and what I'd like you to do is step your right foot forward, reach up and to the right. As you pull your elbow back and take the arm back behind you, lengthen, step that right foot back a bit, and then step the right foot forward, reach. I'm going to have to move, my wall's in the way, and step back. So we reach up. So the movement of the arm is just a bit of a rainbow above you. So notice my hand is going up, and then as I step back, slightly behind. And then up. My left knee is definitely bent. In fact, both knees are a bit bent. Let's just do 3 more. Step and lengthen. And step and lengthen. And 1 more. And now you've got yourself in a little bit of a rhythm. I ask you to stop. Oh. So a little bit of flexion and extension of the spine, a little bit of rotation of the spine, stretching a little bit across the hip and the shoulder. So we have to be quite careful with that movement. So we've got to do the other side though. So feet back to about parallel, left hand on your hip, okay? So your left leg is the mover. Your right arm goes behind. As you step your foot forwards, reach up to the corner, up. As you step your foot back, slightly back, reach the arm behind you. Step up and forwards, and then back. So I quite like the back one, although this is the one where you have to be a bit careful. I'm going to try and look at you, as you don't collapse at the lumbar spine. So we step and reach, and step and reach. Step and reach. So your arm stays high most of the time as you do 3 more. And then last 2. And 1 more for me. Just trying to actively move the body, stretch the body, which is what we want. Nice, relaxed shoulders and open across the front. Excellent. Okay, so from here, I'd like you to be conscious of your posture, conscious of the alignment, but also be aware that we've moved the spine quite a lot. So we're going to roll down halfway. We're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, roll down. Just tuck the tail under, touch your knees, draw yourself back up. Realign the spine, shoulder blades slide down, lift the arms and reach back. Go wide. And then again, rolling down. Maybe go to the bottom of the knees. And then come back up. And lift up. Now, if your back feels okay and you are happy to, you could try and go all the way down. Notice if you feel quite mobile in your back or it's still feeling a bit like it's moved quite a lot, and that can sometimes make it feel a little bit feek and weeble, as I say. Let's do another one. And then lift yourself up, drawing the tummy in, tall and broad, lifting the arms. Excellent. Alrighty, so we have really moved the spine. I want you to be aware of the alignment of your spine now and the strength and stability around the shoulders. So I'm going to move my stuff out of the way. I'm actually going to do this end from this end today. we're going to do it roll down and walk forwards into plank. So when you're ready, breathe in. As you breathe out, roll down. Let your arms hang. Take your time. All the way down to the bottom. Bending your knees a lot if you wish. Walk forwards. Place your hands shoulder width apart. Bring your head through and your shoulders back. And at this point, you can absolutely put your knees down. But your shoulders are broad. Draw them back. Push up through the heels of the hands. On your knees or your toes. And what I'd like you to do is be conscious of the length of your spine. Tuck the tail under a bit, drawing the tummy in. And be conscious of the stability you need around your shoulders. And then we want to stretch there. So we literally shift ourselves back and then go forwards, leading with the top of your head. Chest forwards, body long. And then you go again. You can sit back and shift forward. Shoulders come away from your ears. Now you could always put your knees down, shift back, go forwards to the top of your head into a full plank. Some of you might be tempted to do a down dog and then forwards into plank. Let's just do 2 more. Nice big movement at the shoulders, lots of movement and lots of strength required. 1 more in my world. And then Be strong in your wrists. Bend your knees, absolutely you can bend your knees. Walk yourself back. Plant your heels. Draw your tummy in and draw yourself back up. Be tall, be broad. Lift the arms, reach up and go wide. And what I'm really hoping is that as you did that movement, you were conscious of feeling a little bit more mobile in your spine. It is demanding on the shoulders strength and stability. So we're going to do that again, and if you wish to, it's your choice, we can add in the press up. So we breathe in. As you breathe out, roll down, let the arms hang. Okay, let your head hang, let your hair hang. And then walk yourself forward. Now, as I've said, you can absolutely put your knees down, but bring your shoulders back. Push your chest forwards. Push up through the heels of your hands. Take your hands a little bit wider, okay? Either here or on your knees. See if you can send your elbows out back, even if it's halfway down. Push up and then sit back. And then come forward. Shoulders come away from your ears. Chest maybe goes towards the floor. Push up. And remember, you could do the down dog. If you're doing the down dog, maybe you're stretching a bit more by sending your heels towards the floor with straight legs. Conscious of the strength around your middle, your corset muscles, the alignment of your spine and the strength in your shoulders. Around the shoulders. I'm going to ask you for just 2 more. Just towards the floor. As I said, you don't have to do the press up. Did I say that a bit earlier? Oh, did I forget to say that accidentally on purpose? As we stretch. And then, of course, we finish in that plank position, aware of being long and strong, knees down if you like, shoulders back, pushing up through the heels of the hands. Then we could walk back. You can keep your knees down. But then you stick your bottom up into the sky as you draw your tummy in and draw yourself back up. Tall and broad, lift the arms and go lovely and wide. Excellent. Come back to the middle. I would like to encourage you to do press-ups. You don't have to go down onto the mat or the floor. You can do them on your kitchen sideboard because we want to be strong and stable around the shoulders. It really increases our risk of injury, and if we do press-ups, not the press-ups increase risk of injury, but if we're weak and not quite aware of how to stabilise, we increase our risk of injury. So if we could just do a little bit of kitchen sideboard press-ups, that would be great. We now are going to take our feet wide. We're just going to do one little bit more movement here, and then we're going to take a lie down on the mat. So when you're ready, we sweep one arm up and round and sweep back, and then the other arm up. And what I would like you to do is push away with your toes. Push away. And you could do a little squat in between. Notice I'm doing this a little bit deliberately, a bit slower, to lengthen down the side of the body there as you push away with your toes, as I said. So we're going to do 6 more. Lots of movement of the spine today, lots of movement of the shoulders. And then again, I think I've got 2 more. That's 1 and 2 and rest. Chink, chink, chink. Okay, we're going to take ourselves down into the mat. So if you need to move your screens, please do. We're going to lie down on our back. So when you're ready, take a moment. You could have a slurp, but before you go down, and when you go down, we want to be in a lovely, long, neutral position. So our feet are on the floor and knees bent, hip distance apart. Your spine lovely and long. And as you lie down, notice your positioning. I want to open my shoulders a bit more, so I always take my arms out a little bit. Feel as though I'm sort of tucking my shoulder blades down the back a bit. and lengthening across the collarbones. Tuck the chin down a little bit so you lengthen the neck. And ideally, we can lie long on the mat. This would be the ideal for everybody. We can lie long, tuck the chin down, and we're looking at the ceiling above our knees, okay, rather than the ceiling slightly behind you. If you're like that, generally we're too round in the upper thoracic section, so where your ribs are. So therefore you lie like that, which is really uncomfortable on the neck. So you might need something small underneath your head, okay, which you could pop there, but be conscious of the need for that and try and work on that lengthening of the spine. As we lie here, just take a few slightly deeper breaths, and again, breathing in through your nose. You can breathe out through your mouth if you like. And just be conscious of relaxing, and as you relax, how you're positioned on the mat. Have you got that small little arc in your lower back? And then also as you breathe out, start to become aware of the pelvic floor and that drawing in feeling, again, around your waist. So we're long in the spine, we're open across the shoulders, and we're conscious of that belt of support. If you wish to, raise your knees so they're above the hips and become more conscious of that belt of support. And then when you're ready, breathe in. As you breathe out, lengthen away one leg. Breathe in on the return. And then the other leg lengthens away and return. If that's too much with your knees up, you could tap the foot down. Or you could lengthen away here with your feet returning to the floor. This is a base move in Pilates, and for me this is really about being conscious of the stabilising muscles of the lumbar spine and pelvis. That principle of centering in Pilates, being aware of the cylinder, muscle around your waist, the pelvic floor, the diaphragm, and how they work together. And if we can, we do 4 more. And then once you've completed those 4, you take your feet carefully, give yourself a hug, or take your feet back down carefully. And as you relax, notice where you relax. And I'm hoping it was just around the middle and not around the shoulders. Okay, let's think about lengthening our hamstrings. So again, from here or here, we're going to take one leg long as you breathe out. Lift that straight leg up, take that straight leg back down, and then bend and return your foot to the floor. And then the other one, long and low, long and high. Trying to get that lovely lengthening feeling down the back of the neck. I'm not entirely sure you would call it lovely, but that's what it's about. It's actively moving bigger, which we've done an awful lot of today to encourage stretch in muscles. If you're doing this with your knees up, fabulous, but be conscious of maintaining that neutral position. And we are going to do just 1 more on each leg. Lengthen away, open the hip, lift, lengthen and bend. And then the other one. Excellent. And rest. Whoa. Good, good, good. Okay, before we continue with movement through the legs, let's do a set of hip rolls. Arms out. Now we've moved the spine a lot, so I really don't mind whether you do this with your feet wide and feet together. If you prefer feet wide, go for it. I'm going to stick my knees and feet together and talk about the rotation of your spine. You could lift your knees and glue them together, which is more demanding on your strength and control. We breathe in, arms out nice and wide. Let's say that, palms up, please, please, please. As you breathe out, send your knees to one side, lengthening across the opposite shoulder and chest. And then draw yourself back from your waist as you find that neutral position again, and send your knees to the other side. And then draw yourself back. Now, as you do this, and as I said, we're lovely and open across the front of the shoulder there. Okay, we get this nice rotation in the spine. And the rotation is definitely restricted by or enabled by flexibility of many, many muscles, not just the small muscles of the spine. But if we're to go all the way over and keep our shoulders on the mat, we need flexibility across the front of the shoulders and the chest. We need flexibility and mobility in the lower back and around the hips. And then we will be mobilising our spine, getting that great rotation. As we do 4 more, be aware that your obliques are also like a corset around your waist, on top of that transversus muscle, and they are the ones moving you. Notice if you're able to rotate a bit more than normal because of all of the movement that you've done today. And then, as you return, you can rest. Alrighty, so I'm going to grab both my block and my band. I'm sorry if you didn't put yours close by, I should have said that. The block, if you wish to, goes underneath your bottom. And as I say, underneath your bottom, not your lower back. Okay, so you could even put it just below the curve that is the top of your pelvis. Okay, here, so it literally is under your bottom muscles and your sacrum a bit. I've got my band here, and I'm going to fold it in half. So that when I hold it, my hands are a bit wider than shoulder width. And we're going to breathe in as you breathe out, up and back above the head. Breathe in on the return. And then again, up and back, lengthening across the front of the shoulders and the chest as we just work on our range of movement here. Now the bottom is lifted, so I feel a bit restricted. It sounds really bizarre, but just by a few degrees, it's really weird. But we want to ultimately be able to get our arms to the floor, elbows out wide to the sides. Breathing out, up and back. Breathe in on the return. Just keep going in your own time, don't rest. And then return. And then if you wish to, we can pause as we're going to add the legs. From here, okay, we make sure we're in a neutral position. We connect the ribs and pelvis, that corset muscle. You could lift your knees if you wish, you do not have to. And we lengthen away the arms and one leg, and we tap that foot, heel, calf, whatever it is on the floor, and then return, and then the other. Now, the bit here that we need to be very aware of is the core connection between the ribs and pelvis, particularly as we're moving both the arms and the leg. And the aim is range of movement at the shoulders and, more important, well I say just as importantly, range of movement here at the hip. So we're trying to get our leg a little bit lower than the hip so that we extend the hip joint a bit, lengthening the hip capsule, the ligaments, the muscles, because we want to have this range of movement. We definitely want to have minimum 10, ideally 15 degrees of hip extension. So as we lengthen away, we're aware of the ribs drawing down that corset of support. And I'm going to ask you to do 4 more in your own time. Add that slight moment of pause at the long point so that you feel the stretch. And the only way you're going to get the stretch is if your leg is dead straight, really straight. Can't be any straighter. And once you've finished your 4, the best bit is giving your knees a bit of a hug. And then if you wish, you could keep the block there or ditch it. I'm going to pop my band above my head, lift my bottom and ditch it. And we're going to do just 8 more. Particularly if you've taken the block out, I want you to notice the difference. I feel a bit cheated as I've taken the block out and the floor is there way earlier than I would like. Showing that just a few repetitions of hip extension, actively taking the leg slightly lower, increases your flexibility now. Of course, we might sit down and have a cup of tea after this session. So once you've finished your 8, consider that maybe how much we sit will affect the flexibility and mobility of our hips. Absolutely. Because that includes hip flexors and hamstrings. So, as you place your feet back to the floor, the decision for you is let's do a couple, 10 repetitions, slightly more challenging. Now, you may wish to keep your feet down and curl up. And if you're going to curl up, please take the block out from underneath your bottom. You therefore don't have to curl up. You could keep the block there, keep your feet on the floor and just do a bit more with your arms. So let's do 10 more here, and we'll do 2 sets of 10. As I said, if you want to curl up, you can. I'm leaving my feet here for the moment on this one, and I'm going to add them in on the second set. You might think, well, I'm going to challenge myself early on, and I'm going to lengthen a leg, and go back, and then the other one. Lovely range of movement at the shoulders. I've got 2 more to hit my 10. And then a moment of rest. I would like you to make it a bit more challenging, if you can, for your second set of 10. You could change it to obliques, so add rotation as you curl up, lifting towards one foot. That foot can be on the floor. Most of you have done lots of Pilates with me before, so you make a decision as to what's going to be right for you today. I'm going to do this one and bring my knees down and up. You might not want to do the oblique one, you might want to continue with your curl up, okay, as you aim to challenge that deep abdominal muscle and then those other core muscles on top if you can. So here I've added in a bit more work to the obliques and that 6-pack muscle that runs down the front. Definitely done more than 10, but I'm going to do 4 more. 3. And then relax. La la la. And hopefully you're aware of your abdominals. However, we have worked a lot on flexibility and mobility and moving today, so I feel it is probably key to stretch our hamstrings. So I'm going to take my band and wrap it around one foot. That leg is lovely and straight, really straight. The other leg, I'd like it, if possible, that we slide it away and lie it on the floor. The other thing I'd like you to consider is whether you want your band around the middle of your foot or a bit closer to the toes, so that when you straighten that leg and it's up high, you can pull your toes towards you. Only do this if you have not had sciatic problems. Okay, this will lengthen the muscles through the back of the leg and the sciatic nerve, which for most people, if you've never had sciatica, is absolutely fine. So bear that in mind. As you straighten your leg, and then what I'd like you to do, we're just going to do 3 repetitions where we take the leg down to the floor and we lift it, pulling it in towards us and pulling the toes towards you if you wish to. And then gently go down, tap the floor, lift and pull. Let's do 1 more, and then we're going to hold that leg up nice and high, bring it in towards you, pull the toes towards you. Get that lovely, that might not be the word you use, stretch in the back of your leg. We really need to have a straight leg. We sit down, so we lengthen the upper half of our hamstrings a lot, but then the knees are bent. So this bit is short. So collectively, the length of your hamstrings become too short. We definitely need to have a straight leg. Ideally, your leg is up at least 90, and I'm hoping a bit closer in. And then we breathe. As you breathe out, draw the leg towards you a little bit more. Be careful. Sorry. Take another breath in. As you breathe out, draw that leg towards you. 3, 2, 1. Ease off carefully and change sides. That leg goes down to the floor and slides away. The other leg is straight, and remember, the choice is yours as to whether you put the band around the middle of your foot or around the not the toes. You don't need to flex the toes, it's flexing the ankle so you get that calf stretch. Then we did 3 where we popped the foot down, we lifted it up, and we brought it in towards us. And then 2. And 1 more. As you bring your foot towards you, pull the toes towards you, lift the heel towards the ceiling, and just breathe. Take a few slightly deeper breaths, and as you breathe out, draw that leg in. Notice the stretch in the back of your leg and maybe in your calf muscles as well. If you can't feel it, you need to bring that band in a bit closer. And please, please, please have a straight leg. Really straight leg. I don't mind if your leg's all the way out there. It's all about you working on your flexibility of your hamstrings. And then take another breath in. As you breathe out, ease the leg towards you. Pull the toes towards you. 3, 2, 1. Gently ease off. Allow your leg to go down to the mat. And then here, I'd just like you to roll your feet in and out. Let your hips relax. And as you allow yourself to settle here, maybe your feet are rolled out to the side as you open the hips. Open the shoulders, allow your body to rest on your mat. And I just want to take a few more minutes of your time, and I'd just like you to breathe and be conscious of your breathing and breathe deeper but carefully, gently, as we breathe in through our nose. And you might want to breathe out through your nose or out through your mouth. And as you do these gentle but deeper breaths, just use the breath out to allow your body to relax. Relax onto your mat. And as you do a few more, take your time in breathing out and breathe out fully. And feel that you are just letting your body rest heavily onto your mat. And just notice how that breathing has made you feel. With all the movement today and the deep breathing, I hope that as you lie here, you're lying in a position that has enabled all of your muscles to rest, even the muscles in your face. As you feel heavy on your mat, open across the shoulders, open across the hips, and conscious of lying in a tension-free state. like you to just take one more big deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, just be conscious of waking your body slowly. You might want to stretch your arms out, move your hands, move your feet, and carefully bring yourself back into the rest of your day. As we gently bring ourselves into a seated position, and as you sit, be aware of how you feel. And I say that because I crossed my legs and thought that's a bit easier today, and I don't, I'm quite flexible here, but it does feel a little bit taller, feel lovely and mobile in the spine. And my hope is that you feel exactly the same. You feel ready for the rest of your day, maybe a little bit chilled, but you know what? That's all right on a day like today. Thank you so much for joining me. Well done.